Hey guys, I'm Erin Walker and I was asked to make a video tutorial from a few of you when you saw my picture. My kids are still asleep. It's noon and that's fun, so I have a little time on my hand. They're teenagers, so I just let them sleep on Saturdays. Anyways, so here's the picture in Lightroom that's finished, that I've done that you guys liked so much, and I really appreciate all your comments and support and all of that because sometimes you doubt yourself, but I do like this image. So here we go. So I'm going to go over to the original version of that has no presets and no editing or anything on it. In the interest of time, I'm not going to go through and clone out like where I cloned out, this car and my daughter here, and I cloned out this little thing. I did all of those things in Photoshop. I only know how to clone in Photoshop. I don't know how to do anything else in there, so I definitely use Lightroom most of the time, and most of what I've learned from Pretty Presets and watching their tutorials. So here we go. So the first thing I always do when I edit a picture is I go in and I adjust the angle here. I'm not happy with the slope of that roof, blah, blah, blah. So sometimes if you just click on it once, it will go ahead and adjust for you. But I'm not always crazy about what Lightroom chooses. So I go through, and what I'm looking for here is that the horizon in the background is, nice and even, and that this roof line is pretty even with this line here. So that's how I do that. So we are good with that. I don't crop, unless I'm trying to get really close in, but in this image, I want the whole thing. So go ahead and do that, and that fixes the leveling. And now we go over to the right-hand side. At the top here, you'll see all these little guys. This is the brush, adjustment brush. You can hit K, or you can just click on it. I just click on things. I don't know all the shortcuts. So all right, so my very first thing that I love to do is use my grip brush, which is in the Color Lux thing. And I want to scroll down a little bit, just see if I'm auto masked or not. I usually don't auto mask if I'm doing something kind of large because it'll skip bits and pieces, and I'm not always thrilled with that. What I do is I'll not auto mask it, and I'll just cover it all up like I am here. You can see how that grip brush is working really well and really nice on this image. So what I do is I don't auto mask, and then I go back and I come down to here and I click erase, and I click the O button and it brings up the little mask. I'm not thrilled that it's up here on the trees all along this roof line. Auto mask makes sure that it doesn't take off more than you want. And if you want to add it back, you always can. So we'll go ahead and take that off. Click the O button, see what you got. That looks pretty decent to me. I actually, on this image, I also used the grip brush. I'm going to do a separate one, so I click New. And I'm going to make it a little bigger. I use the grip brush down here in the front first. So I'm just going to go ahead and select all that grass. And that's good. And then what I did was I used a radial filter here. And if I can remember correctly, I said you can use all of these brushes that you have. If you have sugar and spice and all of these other things, you can use whichever one you want in your radial filter and also in your graduated filter. So I didn't like how dark the center of that bridge is, so I'm going to click Baby Brighten, and just because it says baby doesn't mean it's just for babies. And I'm going to go ahead and make that little guy. That's my radial filter. I'm going to shrink it down a little bit because I want it to be kind of just inside that bridge there. And this bumps the exposure in there up to 0.51. I'm going to go ahead and just click it up a little bit and see what happens. So that kind of gets it where I like it. Click Done, and that little radial filter goes away. That looks pretty good to me. And then this little box here is your graduated filter. I had bought one of their things here, one of their I don't know, I guess graduated filter sets. I can't remember exactly what it was called, but they had all these graduated filters, color for background, blah, blah, blah. And I did use the blue skies on this one. And what you do is, I'm on a Mac using a trackpad, so I just go ahead and click in the lower left-hand corner of the pad, and I'm just going to drag it straight across. This is the blue skies. See how that does it? And you can adjust the graduated filters by clicking that lower left, or whichever one does it on your computer. You can adjust it this way. You can turn it upside down and bring it along the bottom, however you want it. You can also make it smaller by dragging across the top there. Smaller, smaller. I'm going to go ahead and delete that because I didn't use blue skies. What I did use was one of the brushes that came in the winter collection. And that was the blur background. And it was hard to see. You can see over here, this is the side that it's working on. And I want it to be on the sky up here. So I went up here. Of course, it's a lot more detailed than the picture that I worked on. I'm just doing this really quick for you guys. And then I was kind of curious because these things are still here, and I actually didn't clone those out in Lightroom. So I've used the blur background. I dropped the clarity all the way down. I went in and just adjusted my blur background, and I liked this dehaze option. See how that works? I think this is new for Creative Cloud users. If I slide dehaze all the way up, I get this kind of beachy looking sky, which isn't cool. But what I really wanted was that foggy sky. So I just went ahead and brought it all the way down on the dehaze. I think I kind of messed with the saturation a little bit to kind of, give it a little more tone, make it look a little more realistic. So yeah. And then I went ahead and actually just clicked here and I duplicated the filter. And now I have two filters. See that? That's the second one. And that's why that looks so funny. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn this filter upside down by moving it. And I like it in this kind of area. Slide it down. Slide it down some more. And I'm not crazy about how white it makes it, so I think that I went through and I downed the exposure. I think I bumped the clarity a little bit more. And this dehaze, I kind of softened it a little bit to kind of keep it looking, natural and not like a ghost town. So yeah, so that's it. And then I think I took like a third radial filter and I did it over there. But dehaze is kind of cool. I haven't learned anything about that, but I've just been playing with it. I just kind of muck around and do everything. So then my final step was to go over here into my left-hand side on the navigator. The little image up here is kind of cool because you can kind of see what happens when you put all your little pretty presets on things. Color Riche, Harvest Moon, Ginger Snap, all of the above, but what I had ended up choosing was Boho Chic. Click that. I'm going to click Done, actually, to get that radial or that graduated filter to go away. And I think I went ahead and just, darkened it a little bit because I was looking for kind of a, a darker feeling. So yeah, so I think that's kind of close. Not exactly. That's basically what I did. Oh, it was Boho Chic 2 that I used. Sorry, guys. So now that I've applied this, preset to things, I need to go back and just kind of double check. Here's my radial filter where I brightened up in there. It's still too dark now that I've applied the preset, so I'm just going to bump it up again. And then I just double check my other ones, make sure that I like them. I like that one there. I like that one there. And of course, this was just a quick how-to, but that was my finished product. It's got a couple of more. There's a graduated filter here and over here as well. So yeah, so that's exactly how I did it. I hope you guys liked it. You know, take a chance. Click on all your things and you know, go through. And graduated filters, just because something's a brush doesn't mean it can't be used as a graduated filter. You know, and just because something's a graduated filter doesn't mean that it can't be used as a brush. So hope you liked it. Hope I didn't say too much, and I hope you all have a great weekend. Thanks.